and then we'll get going.
Do you know today is another 888 day?
I saw that yesterday. Was it? There's 2,
Because
6,
today's
8 and 224. Yes.
yeah. And this month, like, wow. I mean, September next week. And we're in winter, obviously, down under. And we've had about a 28-degree day today.
Have you really?
And when my youngest son was born, it got to -4 in the middle of the night. And this is Celsius. So this is so rare. It's so out of character, the weather. And yeah, I mean, I think we've all been really aware of the shift that we've all had in the weather, the length, like the seasons are changing, aren't they?
Completely.
So, hi.
Oh. Well, that's a good start anyway. I mean, literally looking through your books, and I think, where shall I even start with Nikool? Because there's just so much we could talk about. And we had a chat the other day. So if anyone is up and looking at this, I think Jacqueline Adams in Scotland is watching, because she's put I saw a comment come up. Yeah, so, but thank you. It stays on the page all day anyway, you know, going forward. We're recording it, so it go on to YouTube. So yeah, lovely to meet you, Nikool. Oh my goodness, I think it was Milton Foster that put a quote, shared something that you wrote, and yeah, it was so interesting. It was about the ascension, and I copied that, and then I asked if we'd be friends, and you said yes. So and your posts daily are just marvelous. I just love reading them, mostly because it just reminds you to bring you back to peace.
Yeah, stay present. Don't
Yeah,
worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. What are you going to do today to make your life better and happy? And I think that that's pretty much where we're at now. You could continue healing for the rest of your life, because we've all had really traumatic lives. Like everybody, nobody has escaped major traumas, even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 traumas, you know, more.
yeah.
You seem to have got over one, whether it be an accident or a family, you know, disaster, or childhood woundings, you know, problems with partners, ill children. It just has been, for me, and I know a lot of light workers who have had similar lives. It's been obstacle after obstacle after obstacle to toughen you up, to strengthen you up, because we knew as a soul that this was going to be a long path. It's a marathon, not a sprint, is a meme that is often shared around. And you know, you have to get in that mindset that it's not going to be over. It's never over. We are eternal beings of light, eternal.
Yeah.
And this is just one experience. Little bit different with this life, this incarnation, in that we're here for a specific function, a specific role of, you know, keeping the vibe as high as we can, and, you know, getting together with soul family and like-minded people, and trying to, you know, become more aware of self. But yeah, it really has been just, you know, when is it when is it going to end? Well, it doesn't end. So the mind shifts to, okay, we're here for another good couple of decades. Like, really.
Yeah.
And well, what are we going to do to make that a better experience for everybody? What are we going to do to make our lives better, and then everybody else's around us? There's no more just sort of laying down like a dog and going, oh, that's it, I can't, what's on the telly. That's not why we're here.
Not at all. And so I'd not really introduced you. I didn't know whether
Oh.
to, because of because of the book Accidental Truth. I mean, after I read this bit that Milton Foster shared from you, and then I looked at your page and there was something about the book Accidental Truth. Well, it's a big book, but I read it. It was just a real page turner, and it was like fiction, but it is actually your story in a lot of it.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to write my personal story. It's too personal, and everybody, that's one of the hurdles when you come on programs like this, is how much you're willing to share of yourself.
Yes.
And I believe you can share quite a lot without treading on anyone's toes, if we want to put it that way.
Yeah.
But when you're writing a story, my guides wanted me to put what people are to expect for the awakening journey and ascension. So because it's a program that you go through, the spiritual, being, the human,
Yes.
goes through.
Yeah.
There's definite things that everybody goes through. And so I guess I chose a way of writing that story, my story, through using a fictional character and assigning, different names to people. So that's how you go about it. And I think, when anyone asks or says, I want to write a book, but I don't know what I want to write about, everybody says, well, write about what you know.
Yeah.
And that's why, the autobiography field is so full, because you only know your own life. And you hope that by sharing that, it might spur somebody else to, heal, to find similarities, because it's in our similarities that we find the togetherness. Differences cause division, but when we can hit upon a subject, even two people who might like each other in the workplace, if you find out suddenly that they like to play cards, or they go bushwalking on the weekend, and you do too, you can find that that common ground upon which to build upon, and suddenly the differences get smaller and smaller and smaller. And we're all pretty much the same. All humans are pretty much the same when you get down to just the basics. We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be loved. We all want to have a good time. We all want our little spot in the spotlight sometimes. And then when we want peace, we want to be left alone. So there's human traits that go across the board. And so writing the book and writing about the spiritual awakening journey, and then other people read it and go, oh, that's exactly what happened to me, or mine was similar, but I wasn't in a work, an office space. I was, doing something different, maybe teaching, or so that was the purpose of the book, was to detail the spiritual awakening journey through showing mine.
I mean, every post, the book's amazing. It was a real page turner and I loved it. So then I got your second book, which is completely different. This is not to plug your books. It literally is just to say how interesting everything about you is. Every post that you put on Facebook, I find really, really, I'm just going to do a share screen and just show you the post. if I've got, oh yeah, I have got it open, I think. Share. So this is Nikool's page. You don't mind me sharing this, do you, Nikool? Because honestly, like that.
No, it's all public.
Yeah, exactly. But there's one particular one, this was of interest to me, that you would write that fleet of ships from 24 countries heading to Antarctica to see the new world over the ice wall. Wonder where it will be televised live on the emergency broadcast, perhaps. Woohoo, let's do this. It's time for change. So, you know, you're not averse to sharing a little bit out there to open the mind a bit, would you say?
Well, the thing is what you focus on, you'll attract more of.
Mm.
Where you put your energy, that's where the energy is opened up, and the field, left and right, both in and out. So, you know, our thoughts are portals, and there's many places that you can go to. And I find a lot of things that you can't find on Facebook are on Telegram. It's a different channel. You switch over different channels. So you get information from everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like to have a real broad sense because of the mission that I have, which is I have a contract with a group that's overseeing ascension called the Universal Collective Energy and Energy Collective, and they want me to sort of have a broad understanding of everything. So I'm the jack of all trades, but the master of none. And I just find whatever I get guided to. You see, when you're following your intuition and your guidance all the time, like 24/7, you're really present. You kind of know, oh, I'll just put that out and see. There's things that I put out that don't land, and I delete them, and I think, oh, that was, you know, a little bit ego, or that was not, you know, needed today, or I've said that, or they've got that message. It's all there's no right or wrong. And I don't know what's going to go viral. There was that picture of the 48 moons, the cycles of the different colours, that has had, you know, a lot of attention because it's a great story. So I think people just want to be, well, one, entertained, but while you're being entertained, you want to be taught something, because this is where we're heading, you see. The age of Aquarius is the information age, the age of light, and light is information. So if I find it interesting, I always think, well, somebody else might find it interesting as well.
Exactly. Well, I'll just go back to a share screen again, just to show, so that was that one. And then there's another where you said thoughts are portals. So thoughts are portals. And then, as silly as it seems, I guess some need to hear this again. You create your own reality, and you are what you think adds the collective consciousness. So please stay positive. Peace.
Yeah, because I think, you know, you said I share a lot of things that get a lot of laughter. Ha 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 ha, that's funny. Or that's not going to happen, or, you know, negative naysayers.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's the 100 monkey mind. Like we know all this, we hear all this, it's in all the spiritual teachings. I mean, the word collective consciousness, it's a collection of everybody's thoughts. So if you laugh at things, or you say, oh, that's not going to happen, it's like, well, one, there's different realities and for different dimensions of thought, but it's not being constructive, because we want change. We want this new world to come about. We want all the truths to come about. And if that picture wasn't real, like if somebody's just made it up and posted it and put it on Telegram, well, they're not really understanding the power of the mind, because if enough people see it, then we make it real. We actually make that scenario then come about, like, oh, there's an ice wall. You know, they show you in all the movies and the TV, like Game of Thrones, what's on the other side? Winter's coming, the storm. Everything has been put out there for humans to latch onto. And you can latch on to the negative, or you can latch on to the fun and happy and positive, and dream a new world into existence. So I like to, you know, not only open my own mind, like I thought that was really cool. Like, wouldn't that be great? Oh, and wouldn't it be great if it happened during an emergency broadcast that then showed all movies of what's really been going on? Because nobody knows everything. They've kept it all hidden.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we want to know the truth. So
just going to show you this one. I thought you'd find this. Get me off this planet. I forgot I meant to say
this. God knows what else. Yeah.
I thought you'd like that one. But yesterday you posted that video. I've forgotten the chap's name, but he was saying heart helping each other. Who would anyone be if they didn't have to struggle to survive? Peace with oneself. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet that we were born on? Claim back your power. So that chat that you posted in a video yesterday, really good. I did see the video because he was on with, I think it's Simon Parks. There was him, Simon Parks, Laura Eisenhower. And so that's a clip from that I watched the other day, and it's really positive to watch that. But it's no good trying to play it on here because the sound doesn't work when you play a video on share screen. But yeah, so that was a very good one. You know, the heart helping each other, coming into the heart, being present. Who would anyone be if they didn't have to struggle to survive? So to start thinking in that way of a better world where we don't have to struggle, and then people that are still in the 3D will dismiss that and say, oh, that's, you know, fantasy, you know, come back to reality. But no, don't come back to reality. That's why we were told not to do imagination at school. You know, daydream, best thing ever.
Yeah, and your imaginary friend isn't real, and nobody's under the bed or in the closet. You know, there's kids that see ghosts and spirits and fairies, and adults that see, you know, gnomes and leprechauns and Sasquatches, and they're tapping into a different frequency, a different dimension, a different channel on the TV. And so who would we be if we didn't struggle? Well, this is what we're about to find out.
Yes.
Because when money's taken out of the equation, then there's no competition.
Can't even, you know, it is hard to imagine, isn't it? Because it's been a constant thing all our lives. You know, not to have to think about money every day, or, you know, where the next penny's coming from, or
Well, because it feeds into your survival. Because no money means no food, no roof over your head, no shelter for your family. So it hits at the very root level of survival, which is why it's, you know, like the number one driver of the matrix is the money system, and, you know, the haves and the have-nots. So we're coming into the everybody's equal, and what you have that's different and unique is within you. So we're going to be all given opportunities to explore from our first breath what it is that we bring to the humanitarian table, what gifts and abilities we have that makes us unique. And it's not going to be anything to do with how much money you earn or what house you live in or what car you drive or, you know, how far up the ladder you've become within the corporate world or how many subscribers you have. That's not what makes you different. The God-given gifts inside you, your ability to create, is what makes you unique. How you express yourself, because we're all expressions of God personified.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's going to just be one wild, like, wow, everybody making music if they want to, you know, making beautiful products and craft and being beautiful families without that, you know, the father having or the mother having to work 2 or 3 jobs. Like the family unit, how that's going to evolve, because it's not going to have that stigma of, well, you know, we can't go on a holiday, but so and so is going to France for, you know, the weekend, and it's going to be more based around love and connection, and bringing out the best in everybody, because the pressure's going to be taken off.
I can't remember if it was one of your posts the other day or someone else that put up, but you know, the biggest atrocity of this time is that you're having to pay someone else to bring your children up. So you're having to go to work to earn money to pay for someone else to bring your child up. You know, I never wanted to go away from my children. You know, if it hadn't been, if my mum had not been available, I wouldn't have gone away. You know, I wouldn't have gone to, it was only part-time, but even so, I still didn't really want to go. So, you know, how many go and just because they feel we won't survive without that? And that will all change, do you think? I believe it will.
Yeah, because that feeds into the generational programming. And that's not going to be, we're going to be respecting our elders again rather than putting them out to pasture, because we do it to you know, what we do to the kids, we do to our elderly.
Absolutely.
I remember being 18 or 19 and having a discussion with my boss at the time, and I'm not sure how it came about, but I said, I think it's really it's really tough that we don't have our elderly in Australia. It's really Western, and in America as well, I guess. The Europeans do it a little bit differently. They kind of not value family more, because there's different values, but the way we live life is a little bit different, especially in the newer countries like Australia and America. We tend to have developed this culture that says, much like, you know, when you have a kid that you put it in preschool and you go back to work, that says, well, it's that time for the talk with the parents. We can't have you, you know, we worry about you being in your home alone. Perhaps it's time to think about, you know, going to an assisted living facility, rather than, you know, let's make room in the home for the, you know, the elderly to come back in. So it's going to require just a whole different way of viewing things. And again, when the money and the pressure is taken off, well, you can have a, you know, a bigger house. You can have the little granny flat out the back if you want, or you can, you know, have them in your home, because everybody's home, everybody's looking after everybody.
Respecting each
It's
other.
respecting each other, loving each other, because there won't be the competition.
Yes.
There won't be that one-upmanship of what the Joneses are doing next door, you know. So everybody's going to be coming together, and I'm really excited about that, and I focus on that.
You did put a post the other day, I can find it, but it was really in line with what we're saying here. I'll just see if I can find it, and then I'll share the screen again. But yeah, it was definitely. Oh, and then when I messaged you the other day, you just put that post out about oh, that one was nice as well. The 2 rules of life. When you're feeling really good, do something for others. When you're feeling really bad, do something for yourself. Either way, there is nothing to do but love, and then peace again. Beautiful. Oh, you did a Nikool Tesla. See, there's just, where do you even go with this conversation? There's just so much. Did you ever stop to think the challenges you went through was so that you could focus on the future without the challenges you went through for the future generations? It's all about the children, just a gentle reminder. Yeah. Oh God, you do so many, but they're so good. Okay, so I can't find the one I was thinking about. What I will share though is this book. And again, as I say, it's not to plug this book, but just at the back of this one, Between Worlds, you know, you finish. Is this going to ruin the book if anyone got it? But what, you know, every bit of it. Oh, where did I see it? Purpose of life. And that so many people speak about, they don't know what their purpose in life is. Well, it's what you've just been saying. It's what you really enjoy. Doing what you're passionate about. I can't find the bit where it's, oh, there, life purpose. Can I read that bit, Nikool?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You are all the chosen one. We existed before all this and will exist long after all of this. Every time you look back with doubt, you are not living in faith. Never worry about the road not taken. It never existed. You're regretting an illusion. When your gifts become your passion, you found your purpose. Don't give up while everything is lining up. True freedom is the pure transmission of source energy into creative pursuits without any obstacles. There is no thing to overcome or to become. We are examples of how to live. We are the new earth. You are evolutionary. Your existence is the very proof of your value. Become what you've always known and don't let one damn thing stop you. Make life a comedy, not a drama. Your dream lives inside of you and it can't be passed on. The less you need, the more you become. I am at breaking point, which means I am about to break through. Whatever makes you the happiest is your path. I'll just say that again. Whatever makes you the happiest is your path. The victim waits for life. The warrior makes a life. You are the universe. Do not limit yourself to this false earthly realm's standards. Go about your life knowing that your destiny will always find you. Your optimism is bringing your dreams into being. Only when one finds their place amongst it all will you find the strength to protect it. The more you honor your true, authentic self, the more you allow others to be the same, and a genuine exchange of emotions can be expressed. You're not lost. You're just somewhere that you've never been before. Obsess over the future, not your past. The greatest mission, the challenges and obstacles one has to overcome to achieve it. The greater the mission, the greater the ego one has to transmute into order to fulfill it. Every step is a stepping stone. When you know this, you'll realize there's a jump to be made. Keep calm and carry on with the knowing. I mean, just...
So what they are, at the very back of the book is in, like, 20 or so in different, there's one there for the soul, there's one there for love is all there is, just at the very back. I do this thing called just a gentle reminder
Yeah.
pretty much every day, a couple a week, one-liners, and they're just gentle reminders with a beautiful picture. And so for this book, I thought it would be good. So all those one-liners and all the rest of them were written up to like the last decade. They're all on Facebook. I just put them all together into different categories. So that was the life purpose one.
So many say they don't know what their life purpose is. And if you're washing up at this moment, say, then at that moment, that is your life purpose, to do that. But you can meditate in a way to even enjoy that, because you can be thinking of the future that you desire. When we're saying about the money situation going forward, do you believe that when we were born, about the straw man, that that amount, whatever we weighed at birth, was put aside in gold, and we've been traded on that gold ever since? Do you believe that?
Yeah, but it goes a little bit deeper than that too. In that, if you look at your birth certificate, it actually asks for your parents' occupation. That is listed on your birth certificate, and you would have to wonder why somebody who's just been born, why it matters that a record of what your parents did is
Yeah.
of any consequence to anything. And it's not for ancestor purposes so they can look up who you were and where you came from. Your family knows who they are. You learn that when you look through photos, or, you know, and if you're adopted, then I'm sorry if this is hitting a nerve for you. What it actually is they place bets on you making it in society, how much tax you're going to pay, how much you're going to earn, where you're going to go to school, that you're breeding. So it goes a little bit deeper. But the straw man, in that you're worth your weight in gold, I mean, we've been taught all these sayings, not knowing that they've put aside, you know, 7 pounds, 8 pounds, 9 pounds of gold, and they then use you as a commodity, and they bet on you succeeding. So if your father was a mechanic or a tradesman, and your mother was a homemaker, then they think that that's your capability, that you're not going to step much further outside of that realm. I mean, it's a little bit different these days because we've got technology, the internet, where anybody can make a business. So it's a little bit different, which is why it's all coming unstuck, because they can't predict now how much you're going to make. Who would have thought that, you know, 10-year-olds can have YouTube channels?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a 6 or 7-year-old boy that previews and reviews toys that has like 100 million followers. Like, it's not real anymore. Nothing is real. We've moved away from what is real. You know, we've all become TV stars in a sense. That's what social media is. You know, it's a big personality popularity competition, which I write about in Between Worlds. So Between Worlds is like a textbook, and the first world that I detail is the soul, and going into, you know, who you are, what you're here to do, your essence. the leaders of New Earth, the personality traits of those, and then the world that we're in. So you've got the soul, which is up here, and then you've got, and so at the moment we're between worlds because we're moving into more soul-based, heart-based experiences.
Yeah.
So the other world is the matrix and details everything to do with all the programs that are running that, the money, the entertainment industry, science, all of that. So it's a clear re-scripting, a wake-up script, because when you read it, you can't deny that we've all been led down this garden path into a nursing home. It's all there. Everything is all in black and white. And so I put the soul first because I'm like, now, before we get to where we're actually living, at what plane of existence we're living in, you have to get really straight with who you are, get your mind right, what the body's doing, get out in nature, the natural, and then you go to the matrix life, and that's the unnatural, keeping you inside, keeping you in these boxes, in cities, not to go outside and find yourself. Stay in, keep entertained.
Yes.
Screen upon screen upon screen, we're all living life on a screen. And
you're looking at the phone all the time, yeah. Good Lord. If I looked at this. 37, I thought it said 57.
So
well, yeah. Yes, like it's so different to your first book, but it's just so, it just helps you understand it. And the reason I mentioned about that gold thing is that they're saying they will be revaluing so that there's a balance of money that will bring in the idea that there will be no competition because we'll get our value. Do you believe that?
I think we're going to get more because they have, and I believe this, I believe what the plan has been for a few decades, that they've been trying to get back what was stolen. All the narrative, all the stories, all the propaganda is it's all lies. All the stories of the history of the earth and what's happened is all lies. And that great saying that history is written by those who win the war. Well, it's been won by the 13 bloodline families for however long, and everything has been rewritten to suit their purposes. Everything has been for money and for the detriment of the human body and to feed. So because they feed off the negative energy, which is what drives the matrix, is the fear, the war, the suffering. That's what runs the matrix. It keeps everybody compliant, doing what they want you to do. So
It starts at school, doesn't it?
yeah, and so I believe that I've seen pictures, so I'm hoping it's true. I'm putting all my energy there that it's true, that they've got all the gold back that was in 60 miles of tunnels underneath the Vatican, and all the gold that the monarchy have had from going in and raping and pillaging all these third world countries, which actually have more resources than the Western countries. The plan that we're going to war on terror is really, we want their oil, we want their resources, we want their minerals and all the goodies that are in Mother Earth, which belong to everybody.
Yeah.
And so the plan is that the equalisation of humanity. If everybody's got all their money back that they've paid in taxes, all the mortgages, all the interest that you've paid in your whole lifetime, it's all been tallied up and is sitting in an account just waiting. We're all just waiting, and that's what is so exciting. And that when I do posts to try and gather momentum so that people can get on board with the momentum, because it's the momentum that makes it happen faster.
Yeah.
So the more people that know about it, it adds to the collection of thoughts, the collective consciousness that says, oh, we've got money coming to us. Like, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
We're really actually going to be able to fulfill all our childhood dreams. And the purpose is for you to be happy. And you make that happen however you want that to happen. Some might want to travel the world and explore the world. Others might like to start businesses that help humanity or start organic, sustainable farming. And others just might like to stay at home and have as many kids as possible because they're all healthy. There's no problems getting pregnant because, you know, we've got rid of Big Pharma, which is in our lives every step of the way, with the food, the air, the water, everything being poisoned. Well, that's not how it's meant to be. So it's all going to be cleansed. That's what the new earth is. It's new. It's a new earth.
Honestly, and if you can feel that excitement as well, you actually feel it, that helps it manifest as well.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
think
And
about it, but actually feel the excitement of when you know something good's
feel the
coming.
excitement. And what that does is that it puts you in a different mindset. It gets your mind onto an elevated level. So your frequency, the frequency of your thought elevates. And with that, you start to have higher consciousness thoughts, higher,
Yes.
moving up the emotional scale, out of depression, out of suffering, out of, you know, hopelessness, to one of, wow, this is possible. We can do this. And you start making changes within yourself, within your environment, and within your life, your relationships. You start to require more from yourself. You start to require more from people around you. And those that are not wanting to come along for that ride, well, they'll maybe catch up with you later, or they'll just disappear. And new ones that match that higher frequency, just like if you go and join a tennis club, you all get together and everybody loves tennis. Well, it's the same thing. You want to interact with people that are wanting better for themselves and for humanity, but not at the expense of others.
Yes.
That's the only rule in life, is do no harm. That's the only rule. There is no other law. It's a universal law. So you can do whatever you want to yourself, but you do not do harm to others. And that's why one of the 10 Commandments is do unto others as you would do to yourself.
Absolutely.
Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And if you're not going to get that respect, if you're not going to get that way that you treat people back, bye-bye. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Go and play somewhere else.
Exactly, yes.
It's a big world out there. And you don't have to put up with or tolerate any lower vibrational way of being. If people don't respect your presence, respect yourself enough to move yourself away from that and find somebody else who will. Even if you're left alone, it's better than being abused and mistreated.
Absolutely. Honestly, Nikool, it's so lovely speaking with you. Your knowledge and wisdom, you know, I know we spoke the other day just before, like, us build up to this, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but you did say you're a 33rd dimensional being.
Mm.
And like I know others that have said they're 16 dimension or 11, and you can be what you want to be, but get the mindset for that. But you actually, because you, in your book, you talk about how the angels are surrounding us to really help us at the minute, you know, and you know which ones are there. I mean, we're always working towards that if we want that, isn't it? Because I would love to know that Archangel Michael, well, I trust if I ask anyway that he's there, but you sort of know who it is, if it's Archangel Gabriel or self, I've forgotten the name.
Well, the higher, it's all to do with frequency, the vibrational frequency. So there are those that are of such a high frequency that they're available and accessible to everybody. They're multi-dimensional in that, they're like God's right-hand man, they have access to everybody. But then you have your own personal spirit guides. You have animal spirit guides. Some stay with you, others come and go depending on what you're needing at any given time. So you have definitely one or more that are assigned to you depending on what you're going through. So if you can imagine yourself being in kindergarten, if everybody in the school, and it's a small school, is aware that somebody's family's going through a tough time, a couple of the teachers might rally around, and then they'd get a couple of the other friends to make sure that this friend's being looked after. But then, when everything's going well and they seem to be flourishing again, well, then they go and they get assigned to another child. So it's in that context, but you've always got one. And you've got your ancestors.
Yeah.
Those that have chosen to hang around to watch your development. And you also have your galactic team, because everybody that's on the planet at the moment, we're all hybrids.
Can you explain that?
Humanity's DNA was altered. It is science fiction. That's why they make shows about it. They've gone in to our etheric DNA and our physical DNA and changed the program. They've taken out essential parts of us. And I was speaking with a friend this morning, and the guidance came through that we're actually unlocking more of our brain capacity, because it's DNA led, you see. So when the activations take place, when you get an upgrade, when you are raising your vibration constantly and you're passing initiations and tests and challenges and obstacles, and your whole life changes, you get an upgrade to your brain capacity, which then is allowing you to absorb more information. Now, remember, we're going into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of light. Light is information. Every human and every sentient and every being on the planet at the moment is receiving the light that's coming in from the sun and the great central sun, which is the center of our universe. And that's all coded information. So we've been progressively integrating and absorbing and downloading more and more information. People are so smart now. They're tapping into galactic knowledge and wisdom, because they are from the stars. We are made of stardust. This human vessel is just a holographic projection, but it's vibrating at such a low frequency that it looks like we're standing still. That's what matter is. When it gets to such a low vibration that it forms the density of matter. But when we're vibing high, it's like time just stops. There is no time. And you can be doing things and go, wow, where's the day gone? I've only done a load of washing because like you've continued on doing all, because we're multidimensional beings. And when you think different thoughts and go back into the past, or you project into the future, your consciousness is going there. You ever get the feeling that you've driven all the way home and gone, oh my God, how did I get here? I don't even remember driving. It's because your multidimensional consciousness, your thought, was taken off into a different reality.
It's amazing, but yeah, that can happen so easy. And when you were talking about, you know, if you could be pleased for anyone, if you see anyone doing well, or they've done a lovely job, or they're helping humanity, and instead of feeling any bitterness or, you know, why can't I do that? Be pleased for them, because that is you. Like, we're all one. And so if you're pleased for, if you're wishing it for others, you're wishing it for yourself.
But you can do other things. It's part of the one-upmanship that the ego has with everybody else. At the very beginning, when I said everybody's the same, but we all want to have our little moment, our, you know, in the sun.
Yeah.
And you can have your moment in the sun, but it has to be heart-based. You know, don't save the whales and then write about it on Facebook. Just save the whales, because it's only you here. There's nobody else outside of you.
I love that. That's his Ho'oponopono as well. There is only you.
Mm.
Honestly, I think the more we hear all of this, the better, you know, for evolving to what it's going to be in the new golden era. Thank you.
Yeah, and there's so much information out there. There really is no need to feel desperation or despair, because you can go there. You can go there and you can spend the rest of your life there, because there's so much of that. But is that really what you want? Is that really how you want to live out your existence? You know, it's a choice every day. It's a choice to be happy. It's a choice to live a peaceful existence. It's a choice to be loving and kind.
Did read at the back of the book, I think, it was that one. You did say something about at the end when you're told to walk towards the light, not to. What was that about?
The end of accidental truth.
Oh, accidental truth.
Yeah, yeah. When you pass over, see, it's a little bit different now, because when you pass over, it's the hypnotic, the white light, you know, we're trained to go to the light in all the movies, or even, I don't know, in scriptures, go to the light, you know. But that's the loop to the reincarnation cycle. But everything's changing now. So it was more of a remembering. We're remembering what to do, because we're not going to be stuck here anymore, because the programming is going to change, in that we're ascending. Humanity is ascending. And so we're not going to be stuck here in this prison planet. They've used techniques. The negative alien agenda is, you know, it encompasses so much, all for control. But what you're meant to do when you pass over is to, well, like again, I'll say again, it's a little bit different now, because when you awaken, you merge with your higher self. So you literally just pass through a doorway and, you'll be greeted by your family. You won't be looking for the light because your higher self has taken over the control of that process of passing over. But I have a feeling that we're going to be here for quite some time. We used to live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah. But we didn't expect to get old and die then. We just expected to carry on.
Yeah, so there's just been a lot of nefarious fuckery, excuse my language, that has gone on for far too long, that is all ending. It's all ending. And if you don't want to believe that narrative, that's fine. But if you get into astrology, you will see that we are moving into a new age, dictated by the number of years. So we're at the end, we're at the beginning of the new age, the end of the last Pisces, and we're moving into Aquarius. So we're going to have different experiences.
What's the song, wasn't there? This is the dawning of the
dawning
age
of the age of Aquarius. So if you want to take just that as a sign that change is coming and not listen to one other word that I've said about anything, the planet is moving into a different part of a cycle, but a different part of the realm that we're in, marked by different age, a different star system. So, we can't ignore that, can we? Because that's you look up in the sky and everything's going to change. We're moving into a different part of the sky. So
love it. Love it.
It just doesn't happen overnight. That's the thing. It's a 26,000 year cycle. Yeah. And then there's the 2,000-year cycle in between that. So
we're now moving into the 2000 cycle.
We've got a new, but we've wrapped up a whole galactic cycle of 26,000 years.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the end, and we're going into new Earth, which is what everybody's talking about.
It's what we're here for. It's what we chose to come for.
That's what we're here for. Yeah. And your purpose might just be to sit back and enjoy it, because you've had a really, really hard couple of thousand incarnations, because we've all been stuck here. We've got family on different planets that we've not seen for, thousands of years.
I've just chilled at that, so that's the truth.
So we're unlocking all the crystal boxes, the prisons, inner Earth, everywhere, all the sacred lands, all the trauma locked within the Earth. It's all being released, and there's many, 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 many light workers around the planet, all doing their bit, working with crystals, working with sacred lands, working with assisting souls that are trapped in cemeteries, etc., that have not been allowed to, leave the body. They've been trapped within the body through spells. So there's only good things to come. There's only good things. So it's just so exciting.
So exciting.
It's all just so exciting. And then we get to see the rebuilding of humanity and how it's going to flourish, and all the systems that are going to change. Education's going to change. Everything with, natural products and healing. Everybody's going to awaken to their own healing within. We don't need anything outside of us. Everything that we need to heal with regards to, you know, topical treatments can be found within the plants.
Yeah. As it always was many years ago.
Yeah. And living in harmony with animals rather than slaughtering.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different way of life. It's a new earth. I just get so excited about all of it
Wonderful
because
speaking to you. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you for
Nicole.
having me. Thank you.
And well, we'll speak again, no doubt. But thank you. I really appreciate this.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Speak
you.
again soon. Thank you, anyone watching.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.